following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Up Tempo Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Smith, joined by Mr. Mobile himself, Blake Lane. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen tonight, a very special guest. Y'all know we love us some Auburn Tiger baseball. Here to reflect on the season, talk about what's coming for the future of this Auburn Tigers program, our guy Tanner Bauman. Tanner, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir, I do. We're fired up to have you, man. We've been teasing it on Twitter for a couple weeks. We wanted to kind of let you guys get that season out the way, man. And let's just start right there, man. We're gonna jump right into it. 5-10, Tanner. 5-10 after a disappointing series in Tuscaloosa, and then you guys really turned it around. And the scary thing for me and Blake was we talk about it every week. We were like, dude, you still got a trip to South Carolina. You still got LSU coming. It looked pretty daunting, but you guys just kind of stayed together. So kind of like a two-parter here. Just one. Now that you've had a couple of days to kind of decompress, just what are your overall thoughts on the season? And then two, what was it about the team that you guys kind of stayed together in that moment and were able to turn it around and ultimately win 17 games in the SEC, which is in itself is a hell of an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, first off, obviously it's not the ending we wanted.
Right.
Our coaches and our fans and our players have done such a great job of building a culture here, a winning culture, to where, it feels like if we don't get to Omaha, it's not really a great ending, So to go 0-2 in your own regionals, it's not the best feeling, but I'm still extremely proud of everyone on this team and all the fans for coming out and the coaches for doing such a great job and sticking with us the whole year. And then just, the reason why I think we finished out so strong going into the tournament is just leadership, man. Like guys like how you can't even you could just hear Coach Thompson talking about it all the time, but like the impact that he has had on not just myself, but 15, 30, 25 other guys in that locker room is just amazing. Guys like him, Bobby Pierce, Nate LaRue, they just do such a great job of keeping us up and believing that we belong here.
Yeah, I hear you. You kind of answered my question. My next question was going to be just about those guys. How much did Nate LaRue mean to you? How much did Case and how those guys mean to you coming from Juco into this SEC?
Yeah, well, Nate specifically, him being back there,
right.
Not having the best year he wanted to have hitting wise, he just did such a great job of getting to know his pitchers on each level, knowing who each guy was, what their strengths was, what their weaknesses, what they could do to help this ball club. Just kind of being a great dude back there and just always keeping us locked in and focusing on what we got to get done. And then obviously Kaysen, it's just you can't even stop talking about how an impact Kaysen does. It's like it's so hard to explain because he's just a natural born leader. So after baseball, I know he's going to find a way to be a leader, maybe a coach. He'll be a great coach somewhere one day or something like that. So it's just awesome.
With Nate leaving, I mean, most likely, does he have a COVID year he could use? I mean, I know it kind of seems like he's using, but doesn't he have a year he could?
I'm pretty sure he does have one more year. I have no
Yeah.
idea what's going on with
Yeah.
him,
Well, Nate, if you see this, brother, if you want to, man, we'd love to have you back. But yeah, for sure. But his point, let's say that everything goes chalk and he leaves. You think it's gonna be Ike back there? And have you thrown any? Has Ike caught for you any?
Ike has. He's caught for me. He caught some games this year actually. When we had
he came in there a couple. Yeah,
maybe like a pinch hit or something. Ike's got one of the best arms I've ever seen behind the dish. So
really?
the talent's there for sure. So maybe they try him as a catcher, or somehow you got to get him to play somewhere because he has one of the best balls in the country. So it could be him, Carter, all those guys. So we gotta figure out who's going to be the best guy behind the plate next year.
What's that work ethic like for an 18-year-old like Ike? I mean, it looks like the dude's already a pro, man.
I mean, he's just got God-given gifts, but that kid works so hard for a freshman too. He just has the way he thinks and goes into at-bats. I'm not a hitter, but just like you can tell when someone knows what they're doing and like the approach that they have going into a batter's box. He has the most confidence I've ever seen for an 18-year-old. To step into
Say it, Blake. I know you want to say it. Well, who is he?
I've said it multiple times, man. It's major Juan Soto vibes. Like
he does do it a little bit because you see him when he's really locked in. He'll look right at that pitcher and he'll shake his head. You know what I'm saying? So he's always locked in.
Yeah, bro. It's special to watch him, and I actually retweeted Auburn's tweet today, and he got freshman It's insane how good he is. And I said, hey, look, he's going to have a statue outside of Plainsman one day. I believe he's truly that good.
Yeah. I mean, just his work ethic. I just know his ceiling's so high. Like this, just because he's a freshman All-American this year doesn't mean he's going to be an All-American. He's going to. Sorry, said that the wrong way. Just because he's a freshman All-American this year doesn't mean he's not going to be an All-American next year. I mean, think he's going to keep getting better, and just keep putting up numbers and keep getting better, and then whenever the time comes, he's going to have a great professional career.
Go ahead, Blake.
Tanner, look, man, I wanted to start here with you, and I know you went the Juco route, and now you're at Auburn University, and you were a big arm for us. And I played Juco ball a year here in Alabama, and I know the struggle and the grind of the Juco route. And I wanted to ask you the difference between Juco ball and the SEC level of play, just you jumping from there to Auburn.
Well, the first thing I tell everyone whenever they ask me about my Juco experience is I say, if you go play Juco ball, you better love baseball, because that's all you're doing. You're playing ball and going to school. There's nothing else but that. So the difference is just this is the best amateur baseball in the country. It's you can't compare it to anything else, man. Like we were talking about earlier, it's basically playing like minor league ball as a college student. Yeah. That's what it is. And granted, JUCO guys are really talented as well, and a lot of them go on to Power Fives and even getting drafted. But you can't compare it to the SEC. SEC's they're at the top, and it's there's nothing like it.
Yeah, Tanner. What was the one thing about Auburn that made you, when they started recruiting you, that made you want to pick Auburn?
Just the people here. It's different. It's different here. When I took I think I might have come to Auburn one time, being a Florida kid growing up. I came one time before this, and it was for maybe 2 days. And when I got here, I didn't know what to expect. And just from the first day I stepped foot here, it just felt like it was home. The coaches, I mean, we have some of the best coaches in all of America with their resumes and all that stuff. And then just the people here they're second to none. It's just a great environment. It's a great place to get an education, and it's a great, even better place to play baseball.
I love that answer. And one thing I wanted to touch on here is Dustin mentioned the 5-10 start to the SEC. What were the clubhouse vibes, and what was Butch Thompson's message after that Alabama series? When you got a bus ride back to Auburn, a 2-hour ride, and the media, the college baseball media, D1 baseball. I know that me and Dustin have talked about it on an episode. Everybody's saying the postseason is gone. Auburn's, they're not going to make it. That you were on the first 5 out list in the bracketology, as they do in college baseball. What were the vibes, and what was Butch's message, man?
Yeah, and I think, after we got that Friday night win in Alabama, we knew we had to steal one more. We knew we had to win the series in Tuscaloosa, and just, losing 2 in a row, it really hurt us, because we knew that could have been our season right there. Just because you got to look at it. We had South Carolina, who was number 2 at the time, coming off a sweep against Florida. And then we had number 1 LSU at home, who was, I think they won 8 straight SEC games in a row. And you got a guy you got to face Paul Skeens on Friday night, stuff like that. So we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And we kind of just had a little meeting and just talk like, hey, we've done too much to go out like this, man. There's no more pressure. There's none. We're 5-10 in the SEC. Let's go out there and play some baseball. So I think just realizing, man, it's just a game. We got to just go out there and just have fun again, because we're putting too much pressure on ourselves each game. We got to win, instead of just going out there and doing what we love.
Well, Tanner, I know after the games and everything, you guys meet up right there in the dugout, and there's some dog tags that are passed out and everything. What's up with the dog tags, man?
Yeah, so BT at the beginning of the year just we did a thing called Operation Eagle Eye. We had a man named Major Gampson come in, and it was kind of like our Omaha challenge. Just did some workouts, and he kind of just gave us these dog tags to resemble a brotherhood. And there's 3 dog tags that we give out for each game, and that's for the players of the game. just the guys that, made the biggest impact in the game and were the biggest reason for why we won and all that stuff. So it's got a lot of meaning behind it, just kind of just bringing us all together and showing us that, we're a brotherhood.
I like that. That's a Butch Thompson special. And Tanner, I want to move out to the bullpen because you guys brought some excitement out there. And early on in the season, everybody on Twitter wanted to bash you guys, and the bullpen's going to be the death of this team, and it was just all over the place, right? Do you guys see that on social media? Do you stay off of social media? Do you just lock into baseball 24/7?
Well, me personally, I don't really I don't like getting on social media when it's season and all that stuff. But I know some guys were definitely dealing with some problems, and we had a lot of freshmen and new guys with inexperience. So the first thing they want to do is see what people are thinking after they might have had a bad outing or a good outing. So I understand it, but man, it was daunting in the beginning of the year just because we had so many guys that just they didn't know their roles and they didn't know what they were doing wrong. They didn't know how they could help this team win and all that stuff. So it was definitely a struggle at the beginning of the year in that bullpen for sure.
Like we were talking about a while ago off recording, a lot of puppies out there. And I know if you listen to this podcast, you probably get tired of me saying it throughout the year, but it was the truth. And we were just babies out there for majority of the year. And the light switch happened and you guys turned it on and it was awesome. But I think one thing that really helped this bullpen out, Tanner, was the dancing. All right. They started showing the Auburn bullpen, and you guys out there were cutting the rug, brother. I mean, who started this? Who come up with it? My real question is who choreographed those dances?
I can tell you who started that right now. It's definitely Will Cannon, man. I can promise you that. It had to be Will Cannon. That man, that's the clown on the team right there. He's just a goofy kid who loves to have fun and stay loose at all times.
The energy that he brings on the bump does that rub off on others?
It does because you see him go out there and you see him bring all this energy after he wins us a game. You're like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. Like I want to do what he's doing. So his competitive spirit's unmatched, man. He's our most competitive pitcher, and he's never afraid of a moment, and he's never afraid to shine whenever it calls for it.
I love that. I loved watching him go out there and just compete, man. And look, I know the dude gave up a grand slam walk off at Georgia Tech, but what he did to just even get that. Yeah. I mean, exactly. He come in with bases loaded, no outs, and just said, "Hey, here you go." He's a heck of a competitor, and that's a term I use on this podcast a lot. Is a competitor? Just be a competitor, and I saw that out of each one of you guys this year, Tanner. But talking about Will, how close is that friendship, and how have you guys come to know each other so well?
Yeah, that's my brother, man. We've gotten really close over the last year, just being roommates and being in the bullpen together and kind of having similar roles. I was usually the guy to in mid relief to get it to Will for the ninth inning. So and we were throwing partners too. So just kind of talking to him and just kind of, I wouldn't say teaching each other, but just trying to going through a process of how we can make each other better was a big thing for us. Cause we're both competitors and we both at the end of the day just want to make our team better.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that out there, man. And the way both of you guys feed off of each other, you love to see it as an Auburn fan. I know the future is so bright, Tanner, and we're excited for next year. And like I said a while ago, as an Auburn fan, there is no way anybody can be mad at what this team did. And just the simple fact that you guys overcome the 5-10 and you got to host a regional for the first time ever, back-to-back years Auburn host. That speaks volumes from where we used to be. Myself and Dustin growing up, just absolutely eat, sleep, breathe Auburn sports. And I'll tell you, Tanner, we don't miss a pitch, brother. And it's even when the games are on the radio and you're playing you're playing Southeast Louisiana State. We don't miss a pitch.
Walking around the living room in a circle with Andy playing on the radio.
I love it. I love it. We love fans like y'all, man. We love it.
And you know, we had Coop on here at the very beginning of the year. He was going through the injury, and he was such a good guy. We talked about his transfer from Kansas and him coming to Auburn, and just what a big piece that he ended up being to this team. The guy, I know my favorite memory of Coop this year was you guys were at Ole Miss and the bases were loaded, and
slam, baby.
yeah, I'm on YouTube and I was like, oh wow, here's Coop. This is the perfect guy that you want up at the plate. Next pitch, bang, grand slam, and my reaction was priceless. So, but we did a little segment, Tanner, with Coop, and we were kind of just getting to know who he was off the baseball diamond, right? And we were just asking him some simple life questions. And Dustin, I know you want to kick this thing off, and I'll let you ask Tanner.
Well, before we start, I have one more baseball question for you, Tanner. I just I've always wanted to ask an Auburn athlete this, and we had Coop before the season, so he had, it was right there at the start of the season. But I grew up in this, man. I've been an Auburn fan from the jump. I've actually told Zach Crotchfeld's mom, she had thanked us, just for how we covered you boys this season. And I told her, like, 1997, Heath Kelly was a starting shortstop, and my dad knew Heath, knew his father. They worked together, and I got to go down in the game after we had played LSU, got to run the bases, hang in the dugout with Tim Hudson, Hal Bird, all those guys, and that's just kind of one of my first Auburn baseball memories. So Auburn, it means a lot to me, man. And when you guys go and you play a game like Alabama, because I know it didn't end the way you wanted, but forget the results. My question is, because like for me, that whole week leading up to that, right, as a long-term Auburn fan, I got butterflies in my stomach. It's just, oh shit, we're about to play Bama kind of thing. And then for you, that Friday night leading into that series, like you're finally getting a taste of what me and Blake say all the time. And this isn't a homer take, the best rivalry in sports. What is that feeling like in your stomach when you're like, man, I'm about to be playing for something right here, that even people that don't watch Auburn baseball all year tune in for that series because it means something to them.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy? It all started in the fall when we played them. I didn't really – I understood, the football rivalry and all that stuff, but I didn't know how big the baseball rivalry was going into it. So going and playing them in a fall game and having that many fans there was – I got butterflies, just because I was like, this is a fall baseball game, the in-state rivalry right here. And then, so the Friday night when I got the chance to throw against them, and luckily we got the win, it was butterflies. It was probably one of the more fun games, just because just the hate that Alabama fans have for us, and just going on the field and getting that first win against him was one of the best feelings we had this season. So
I hear you. So yeah, but like Blake said, dude, we wanted to get to this, just kind of get to know you, man. This to me is how much I like somebody, as to what extent, is a very important question to me. I'm gonna judge you a lot off this one, buddy. Okay. I'm riding in the car with you. Okay, we got a long drive ahead of us.
Okay.
Who are the 3 artists that I'm gonna hear Tanner Bauman put on?
Oh gosh.
Top 3
artists. All right.
Your boy Coop said Drake, and I can't remember the other.
Me and Coop are roommates, and we listen to Drake a lot.
Okay.
Well, Drake's got to be in there.
All right.
Drake's got to be in there because Drake just has so many different styles of music. So it's
he cranks out hits.
I got to go with one country guy. Let's go Parker McCollum. Parker McCollum. Mm-hmm. And then, oh my gosh, it's a lot of pressure. You're putting a lot of pressure on me. Let's go. Who I used to love listening to before games was Pop Smoke, but he passed away. But he was a really good artist. I liked him.
Okay, old country. Let me ask you this: you got to pick one: George Strait or Alan Jackson?
Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson over George Strait. Okay, I like it. I've seen Alan Jackson live a couple times.
I love Alan Jackson. He's gonna kill me if I don't say Alan Jackson.
Okay. My dad would kill me if I didn't stick up for George.
Okay. See, you know how it works then.
Yeah, for sure. What you got, Blake?
Oh man, this is a big one for me right here, Tanner. What is your favorite thing to do outside of baseball at Auburn University?
Outside of baseball at Auburn University.
Mm-hmm.
Being a Florida kid, definitely got to say the beach, man.
Okay.
Being in some type of body of water, going on a boat, fishing, getting out into nature and going out there. That's probably the best thing that I like to do. Just getting away from baseball and going and enjoying life, stuff like that.
Love that.
Go to Florida, Tanner. I'm in Pensacola.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, love that, Tanner. I'm right here in Mobile, so it's
You're near some water, so you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I gotta ask you here is the best thing to eat in Auburn, because I know this is a major hot topic. It gets hot on Twitter.
You know what? We had this discussion like 2 weeks ago because we were trying to figure it out. I gotta go with what's pretty good. Big Mike's.
Okay.
The steakhouse.
Big Mike's.
I've been hearing that. Yeah.
Or the Hound's pretty good. Oh, there's a barbecue place. Oh, Bow and Arrow is really good. I'm going with Bow and Arrow actually.
Okay.
That place is really good.
Bow and Arrow.
Yeah.
All right, Tanner, I gotta ask you this one: iPhone or Android?
iPhone, just because I have an iPhone.
Okay. All right. And lastly, man, that I have for you is I know you grew up a Florida kid, Jacksonville. Was it Florida State, Florida, or Miami?
It was Florida. My dad and my sister were diehard Florida State fans, and my mom went to the University of Florida, and she kind of took me under her wing as a diehard Florida fan. So I was a diehard Florida fan until college.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're a diehard Auburn fan.
Yeah, and it felt really good to go to Florida and get that win against them. Felt really good.
Yeah, man, that was one of those series that we were just we just let it get away from us. Yeah. But hey, you guys, you played your asses off all year, and I'm damn proud of you. And when we get on here and we recap these games and everything, man, we just know that we care about each and every one of you. And I said this the other night when we did our regional recap is we watch every pitch, and we had Coop on, and now we're having you on, and we genuinely care about each and every one of you. We care about the coaches, we care about the fans, and I know that like I said earlier, the casual fan might sit here and say, "Oh, well, they went 0-2. The season was a disappointment." But me and Dustin want you and everybody on that ball team to know that we love you guys, man, and we'll tell you straight up that you weren't a disappointment. You brought a lot of joy to, I know, me and Dustin, and we're damn proud of each and every one of you just for the resiliency throughout the year and everything you face. Because if you are a casual Auburn fan, this is a team that lost their ace pitcher at the very beginning of the year. I was at opening day. That opening weekend, I watched him throw 50 pitches in 5 innings, and then to hear that he's done for the year, it hurt. And and that's one of the last things I wanted to ask you, Tanner, before we let you get out of here, is to lose a guy like Gonzo. And I know it had to throw you from the bullpen to a starting role. It had to throw Will from the bullpen to a starting role. And then you both are going in and out of, you don't know what your role is, because you're having to start a Friday night game. Will's having to start the next week. And then you're getting bumped to Saturday. And then Drew Nelson's in and out. Like, you guys, you didn't know. And so how tough was that to just overcome that and figure out your role, and losing a guy that meant so much like Gonzo, and just this pitching staff just fully coming together, man?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gonzo felt like the one piece at the beginning of the year that we knew was going to be that Friday night or that Saturday guy. We knew, we just thought like he's going to be our guy every week. He's not going to lose that weekend spot. He's earned it with the year he had last year and just the greatness that he's shown. So losing a guy like him was hurt, really hurt. And, but I just think it made a lot of guys learn a lot, because, having to be a starter, doing mid relief, closing some games, I think it helped us grow a lot. and like guys like Drew Nelson and Crotchfeld and Will and all those guys that got to experience different types of roles, they now realize that they're comfortable and they can actually perform no matter what the circumstances are. So I just think Joseph's injury kind of helped us in a way by just teaching some guys that, you know, you can't make excuses for we're losing one guy when, you know, at the end of the day, it's just baseball, and all you got to do is just play catch with the catcher, no matter if you're starting, relieving, or closing the game, whatever it is, you know. So it really hurt, but I thought a lot of guys learned from it for sure.
Well, Tanner, before we let you out of here, I know we do this little thing every episode. Dustin, I'm going to give you the floor, man. Your final thoughts, your final words before we let Tanner hop out.
Yeah, just appreciate you. You know, appreciate your time, Tanner. Look forward to what you got cooking up next year, man. We know you boys are going to come back with a vengeance. When you said you're from Jacksonville, I had to ask you, man. You a Jags fan?
I am. Duval, baby. You know how
All right,
it is.
dude.
Duval.
So what's up with Trevor Lawrence, man? Because I'm telling you, I think y'all are set to roll out. Back to football season, me and Blake did like a just kind of NFL thing, having some fun. And I told him, I'll say this, dude, like I'm not bashful with this one. Y'all about to run the AFC South for the next 10 years. That kid's a player.
I think we are. It was the Titans for a little bit, but they got that little quarterback situation going on. You know, with Will Levis and the guy from, I think, Liberty last year.
Yeah. Malik Willis. Yeah.
So if Trevor keeps playing consistent football how he's been playing, we got a good chance. We got to get past those Chiefs, man. Patrick Mahomes is not going anywhere, you know.
No, sir.
So losing them last year hurt, but they're good, man. So
that's how you beat them, man. I'm a Bucs fan. You got to get after him. You got to get after him how we did in that Super Bowl. You just got to put pressure on Patrick, and even then he'll be diving sideways, sidearm throwing dimes 50 yards down the field. So there's only so much that you can do, man. Last one I got for you, Tanner, is we're going into the offseason here, brother. What's the part of your game that you're going to try to improve on and just work on?
Just getting stronger, man. I feel like, you know, I'm holding back a little bit of strength, you know, maybe in the lower half. So I want to just really take a little break away from baseball, maybe for 3-4 weeks, and just kind of just get my mind right in the weight room and just making my body recover to be able to get ready for the next year and all that stuff. So just getting stronger, mentally preparing, just all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I co-sign everything Blake said, man. I don't know how you frame a season, you know, because like Butch said, the expectation at this point is for Auburn baseball to win games in Omaha, and I know that's what y'all wanted to do. So I know as competitors, you guys are disappointed, but we're proud of y'all, man. We're proud of the fight that y'all put up all year, and just thank you for coming on, buddy.
I appreciate y'all. If there's anything I can do to help y'all, let me know, and I appreciate y'all for having me on today.
Yeah, Tanner, we enjoyed it, man, and we'll definitely get you back on, and as always, we'll wrap this one up, and we'll leave y'all with a War Damn Eagle, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. We're out.